What is good? It is your boy PvbloGrey, and we back with another reaction video. Today we got a clip from MSNBC. Title of this clip is Representative Bush. Minimum wage hike could be the difference between life and death for some. Sure, I'm not gonna lie. It could be. But I got my opinion on this. Because y'all don't understand. The moment you start upping the fucking minimum wage, the people who have to dish out this minimum wage, aka the employers, in order for them to do that, I'm not saying they gotta do this, but this is how they think. Because they have to pay you more, they have to increase their surplus. So in proportion or ratio wise, that the money they're paying out matches the money they're bringing in. And the only way to match the money they're bringing in when they have to increase the money they're putting out, that must mean they have to increase the price somewhere else. So niggas working at the fucking gas station getting paid $15 an hour, you're going to be mad when gas goes to fuck up. You're going to be mad when food and all these other shits go to fuck up. But anyway, you like what I'm doing here, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let's get into the video.
Congresswoman, first, let me start. You're going to have a vote tonight. I think it'll be your first vote on a major piece of legislation. There's been other legislation, the Equality Act, but this is the biggest thing that you will be voting on. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about where things stand?
I'm ready to get it done. I mean, we've been sitting and waiting, and I know, all of these things have to happen.
Let me pause it there. If these people can explain to you why $15 an hour would be best through numbers, then you don't need it's not a good idea. If it doesn't make sense, either mind sense or money sense, you shouldn't be fucking with it. That's just what I've learned through life. If it doesn't make sense or money sense, you shouldn't be dealing with it. It's not a good idea. But let's see if that's what's going to happen.
First, tonight, we need to get this done. The American people sent us to Congress with a clear mandate, Chris. Do the absolute most we can to provide real relief to everyday people. True COVID-19 relief means raising the minimum wage to at least $15 per hour, no matter what the Senate Parliament.
How and why? Why does that work? Why is that I have to? Explain why, please, Representative Cori Bush.
Says, run us our money. That's what St. Louis and the country deserves. Nothing less.
You're someone, I think you would say, you come from a different background than a lot of the folks you're serving with, and from a different place and have different life experiences. And, I just from your perspective as someone I think who is closer to being a low-wage worker trying to make ends meet with kids than a lot of your colleagues, what it would mean for the minimum wage to.
And that's the problem. Because she relates to a lot of us, because I can admit it, us black people who aren't really intuitive and isn't thinking, the majority of us aren't thinking deeply into this like how I'm thinking deeply into this. We think minimum wage goes up, we get paid more money in my pocket. That's what we think. She's thinking the same shit. As you can see, that's where he led her to. You're closer to these minimum wage workers, and the reason these people can't relate is because they know money a little bit better than everyone else does. Culturally, other cultures know about money a little bit more than we do. Not saying there aren't people in our culture that know about the money, but there are cultures other than ours that are more in depth with their money sense than we are. That's just sad facts. Until that shit changes, that's just what it is. So we don't understand that just because minimum wage goes up does not mean that means more money in your pocket. But people who are uneducated will think that. There's a lot of uneducated people that get in positions of power. And I'm not saying that's the case here with Representative Corey, whatever her last name is, from Missouri, whatever, fuck. She seems like she's very educated, but it's also the tradition of thinking more money, more of a minimum wage, higher minimum wage, more money, more. The higher the money I'm making per hour, the more money I'm keeping in my pocket. That's just what the thought is. It shouldn't be that.
To be raised for those kind of folks.
It is the difference between receiving your paycheck after the end of a week or biweekly and having money to pay all the bills or most of the bills versus having money to pay one of the bills and then deciding how much food can I buy or do I buy
If she's not telling you that when you get this more money, that those foods and the bills you're worried about paying, that you now believe you have the money to pay for, those are now going to go up. Because the people who provide those services for you have workers that they also have to pay a higher wage. And they have to compensate by the product or service they're selling. They have to bump the price up. It's the only way it works. It is.
I buy a medication or can I buy, what kind of toilet paper? The thing is, someone has asked one day, they said, well, how much, what about buying milk? Like, I hear there's this thing about buying milk. It's the difference between somebody going, where can I go get the $2.50 milk from? Or what food pantry can I go to get my basic needs met? And then what do I have to go other places to get? Like, this is a real thing. What about shutoffs?
That is very true. I want y'all to understand what she's saying. There's no lies in that. These are real concerns that people are facing every fucking day. But there's better ways to go about it than upping the minimum wage, which could fuck up a lot of things. But let's go on.
I know what it's like to come home every day wondering, will there be a letter pasted to my door saying 10 days or, paying 10 days or vacate? Will my electricity be off when I make it home? Will there be a note saying that my gas was turned off? If you haven't lived like that, we're talking about $15, Chris. We're not talking about making anybody rich. This is the difference between life and death for people. Look, we're talking about communities also that.
All right, this is where I got to stop this video. The fact that she's not including what may happen on the back end, because people looking at the front end of this is you get $15 an hour now. You get more money in your pocket, more money to spend, right? The back end is, in order to bump that price up, someone has to bump their price up somewhere else. In order to give out more money, they have to bump the price up for something they're servicing or giving out, for a service or a good. That's the back end of things. They don't tell you about that. They just want you to be emotionally involved in getting this $15 minimum wage going. Please don't be this fucking foolish, y'all. Just think about it for a sec. I hope that's what I bring to you guys as far as value when it comes to these videos. That you're learning something, or I'm at least making you think. That's all I want to do here. But other than that, I don't have much else to say on this. Like what I'm doing here. Like, comment, subscribe. And shout out to Representative Cori Bush. Just do a little bit more research, please. You got real concerns, but I don't think this is the good way of going about it. But yeah. Pablo out.